What's up, motherfuckers? It's your favorite gaijin bastard, Chad. And it's the Going to Dry podcast, episode 6, I believe. I don't know. I've been gone a while. I was in Japan for a month, as you may know. And I did say, I don't know if I promised this. I don't promise many things because I know that I can't exactly deliver all the time. But I may have promised that I was going to record episodes there. Didn't happen. I was busy. Sorry. I was busy having a great time in that beautiful country. And this episode is going to focus primarily on my experiences in that country. Maybe you're thinking of traveling at some point. Maybe, maybe you're on the fence. Maybe you're like, I don't know where to go. I need to get the fuck out because I'm going insane. Maybe you're in a situation like I was, where you live in a big city and it was driving you fucking nuts and you needed to get out. You need to go all the way across the other side, to the other side of the world just to get your head right. Well, I'll give you some tips, I guess, some pointers. I was there for a month. I had an apartment there, so I kind of feel like I got a kind of an experience that was a lot like what it would be if I were to live there, which I am thinking about moving there, because New York has not completely won me back yet. And I don't think it's going to try, because it's a very unforgiving city that does not give a fuck about people. And as you can see, I'm still kind of salty about the entire fucking city. Okay, here's the thing. You don't really know how fucked things are completely. I mean, in this country, yeah, you may have an idea. You may be like, oh, God, this is shitty. The way things are run is so inefficient and just piss poor as far as Western countries go. We don't really have a complete idea until you go to a place like Japan that's just run so fucking amazingly in pretty much every aspect. Their drug laws, pretty antiquated, I will say. But once you get past that, it's like once you get past the whole idea of like needing to fucking smoke weed, I don't really smoke weed, so it didn't really bother me. I do think they should have the ability to smoke weed without going to jail indefinitely. That would be great. But, yeah, okay. First of all, I do love the country. I've been there a couple times. One thing you will find is that especially if you're from a city that has a subway system, subways in Japan are fucking perfect. Really, they could not improve them from where they are now. It's like if you live in New York, you know that you don't know when the fuck the train's gonna come. Basically, it says, train will arrive every few minutes, 5-10 minutes or something. That's basically a suggestion to the train operator. You don't fucking know. You don't fucking know at all. And then I know in Japan, it's like clockwork. They get there when they say they're gonna fucking be there, exactly. And if they're 1 or 2 minutes late, they'll fucking apologize to you for it. It's fucking awesome. It's great. Not that I need them to apologize, but it was just nice. It's a nice gesture. Also, they let you know like exactly why a train is delayed, and then they apologize again for that delay, even if it's not their fucking fault. Like some idiot falls in front of the tracks or some shit, they'll apologize. But excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. I was on a flight with a bunch of Chinese tourists, and they were all sick, of course, because that's my life. I gotta sit right next to the guy who's like hacking and coughing, has like fucking borderline Ebola shit, blood coming out of his eyeballs. So forgive that if I sound a little phlegmy or under the weather. I'm actually feeling okay. It's just it's more of a superficial sickness than anything else. But yeah, what was I saying? The subway system, perfect. A++. Could not be better. Getting around Japan is like nothing. You could be a complete fucking retard and get through that country like no problem, no issues whatsoever, no issues. And everything is basically labeled in English anyway, in the major parts. If you're in Tokyo or Kyoto or I'm guessing like Osaka and shit, probably all the major parts are basically everything's labeled in English anyway, so you don't need even to know basic shit. Although, it is helpful if you know a small amount small amount. I was speaking a lot of what I'd like to call Japanglish when when I was there. So and I don't even know if it was. I guess it was somewhat helpful when I was speaking with people who didn't really know English that well. But yeah, I would kind of like throw in words, from both languages, and kind of try to navigate my way through a conversation. But yeah, I think because the Olympics, they're having the Olympics next year, 2020. They are ramping up. More people are learning English, or maybe they've been advised. Probably should. So yeah, it's easy to get around. Don't worry if you're like freaking out, like, fuck, I'm gonna get lost. You'll be okay. And I actually, speaking of getting lost, I have a funny story about that. My first fucking day. Well, it was my first day moving to my apartment. The other like couple of days I spent in a hotel. And yeah, so I was going to my apartment in the small suburb of Tokyo. It's like 30-40 minutes from like the main like downtown areas that you've seen, like in Shibuya or Shinjuku, around those areas. It was a little ways out, but I liked that because it was a nice change of pace from my last trip a few years back. So I was going from my hotel in Ikebukuro. I probably sound so douchey pronouncing things. I mean, that's how they pronounce them. What the fuck you want me to do? I'm trying to get better at my pronunciation. So I was going from my hotel there, and I was going to my apartment, and I made it to the general area where my apartment is, but I got kind of turned around. My phone was being a fucking asshole because Verizon like cuts off your data. You have to like sign up for a different data plan. I don't know. No, it wasn't like that the first time I went, so I was a little confused. So I didn't have data on my phone. I had a printed out map of the neighborhood, so I was trying to follow that. My fucking feet hurt. I had blisters on my toes. I was like, my back was kind of hurting. I was like limping around this fucking neighborhood. I had my bags, like I overpacked, of course, and so I was lugging these fucking bags around with me. And then I got turned around and I got lost. And then some like older lady came over to me. She noticed that I was like looking at my map, and confused, like a lost puppy. And she came over to me and asked if I needed help. And she spoke like pretty good English, and so we were able to kind of talk to each other, and I was able to relay this my situation and get that across. Be like, yeah, I don't know. My apartment's around here. I don't know where I'm going. So she pointed me in the right direction. She's like, come over here, I'll show you. So she showed me, like she told me the proper direction, the right direction to walk. So I did that shit, and then we kind of parted ways. I was like, thank you so much. That's very nice of you. And I would have been happy with that. That would have been fun. Like, I did not need more than that from anyone. But then, as I was walking down the street in the right direction this time, God fucking damn, it's cold. I ran into her again. And this little lady could fucking walk like a goddamn speed demon. I don't know how the fuck she got in front of me, but I was walking down the street and ran into her again, and she was on the phone, and she said, "Hey, I'm talking to my brother on the phone right now. I'm gonna have him come and pick you up, and then we can drive you to your apartment." And so the guy shows up, and he was kind of confused about the whole situation, and we were talking. He's like, "Yeah, my sister calls me and like says something about it. American guy's lost." And it was funny. We had a laugh about it. And yeah, then they drove me to my place. I forget the woman's name, but the guy's name was Masa. Cool motherfucking guy, musician. We talked about music. And yeah, he gave me his number. He's like, if you need anything, give me a call. So, yeah, it was a good time. Really nice people, and that kind of set the tone. That set the tone for the entire trip, because I ran into so many cool ass people there, man, who were just so hell bent on trying to get me to have a good time, and like the concern, like people in New York don't give a fuck if you have a good time. People in America in general are pretty, they have a singular focus, a myopic viewpoint, if you will. I don't want to sound too pretentious here. Well, it's not me being pretentious. It's just how the cultures are. There's a difference, okay? And if you're a certain person who's more into American culture over the Asian culture, that's cool. Whatever. I'm not saying you're wrong. It's just for me, people in America tend to be, they're more selfish. They're more selfish and more concerned with their shit, and that tends to override you having you being comfortable or having a decent fucking day. There's a lot of stepping on toes is what I'm saying in America, which whatever, that's just how it is. I'm not gonna complain too much about it, because what the fuck, it's not like it's gonna change anytime soon. It's just kind of how people are here, for the most part. Not everybody, but yeah, it was a great fucking experience. Okay, and I'm gonna briefly run through. I don't know how long this episode is gonna be. It might not be as long as the other ones. I might be 30-40 minutes, because I still have to edit together all of my travel footage that I shot, and I'm gonna put that on here. Maybe a little narration, but that's what I said I was gonna do. I said I was gonna have a video of like all the stuff that the footage that I shot on my phone while I was there. So that's enough to fill an entire other fucking thing. So I'm gonna briefly go through here the PG aspects of my vacation. I did a lot of sightseeing. I spent the majority of my time in Tokyo, but I also went to spent a couple days near Lake Kawaguchi, which is in the shadow of Mount Fuji, and it was fucking gorgeous. It was great. It was beautiful. Actually, that was my second time sleeping in a capsule hotel in this little spot, and it was cheap as shit. It's like $20-$30. Slept there, woke up, went out, had my coffee, and it's just the mountain. It's just right there in your fucking face. And in the video that I'll post later of the stuff I took while I was there, you'll see it, and it's pretty striking. But that was a beautiful moment. I went to the basically it's the Shinjuku, like Central Park, essentially. I went there and I viewed the cherry blossoms, this was 2 weeks into April, about, almost, roughly. And so they were like prime blooming season, or part of the season. So I went there, and that was that moment when I was walking through that park. It was just like it was like immaculate, perfect day, perfect weather. When I was walking through this park, and I said, this like moment dawned on me, like, yes, this is the place I want to be. I could see myself being here. I feel like a lot of people when they travel or they go on vacations, you're kind of looking for that one kind of magical moment, and that was it for me. It was just so, it was like such a peaceful, tranquil, fucking, it was exactly what I needed in that particular moment, on that day. That's exactly what I needed, and that's kind of where I decided, yeah, one day I'm gonna live here. So that was beautiful. That was a great day. And then let's see, what else did I do? Oh, I saw some castles. I saw a couple castles. I did not see the Himeji Castle, which is like considered like the most beautiful castle in the country, because that was kind of far out, from where I was. I went to Odawara. What the fuck is the name? Odawara Castle. That one was cool as shit. I enjoyed that. I mean, I guess it's not like the most complete castle, because I know a lot of them are replicas and whatnot. But it was really cool looking, and it's like it's very. If you've never seen any of these castles, they're really like they are very striking, and it's like architecture you don't see in many places. So it's very unique, and I would suggest at least seeing one. And then the inside of the castles are usually kind of converted into these museums, and you can learn about the history of the castle and yeah, that was really nice. And then I spent a couple days in Kyoto. That was great. I went to what the fuck is it called? They have a bunch of these like arches, or like those like Japanese kind of archway things, and you can go up. It's kind of like a mini mountain. They like go all the way up. I guess I did not go all the way up the mountain. I was tired. It's like Inari Fushi. What the fuck? God damn it! I mean, if you saw a picture of this shit, you'd recognize. You'd be like, oh, okay, that I've seen that somewhere. But I walked through that, and it like goes through a forest, and there are all these like shrines and shit. That was awesome. That was great. Let's see, what else? I mean, I did so much wandering and so much sightseeing this time around. It was like, I mean, obviously, if you have a month, you're gonna see a lot. But yeah, those were like some of the big highlights. And just walking around Kyoto and seeing like it's such a different city than Tokyo, because Tokyo is like, obviously people have said this before, Tokyo is like the modern city, and then Kyoto is kind of like has one foot kind of in the past, as it's like there's a lot of traditional architecture. There's a lot of and you'll see like people like geishas. Well, I guess they still kind of do the geisha thing partially. It's not like the same as it was hundreds and hundreds of years ago, but like they'll still have like people who practice kind of the general idea of geisha stuff. So that's cool. And there's other stuff. I won't spoil the whole video that I'm gonna post later. Maybe next week I'll post it, but you'll see all the cool shit. But those are some of the highlights of the PG aspect of my trip. But that's not all I did, because as you know, Chad likes to party. I'm the party man, and I did a little bit of that while I was there. I met some crazy characters, and made some interesting decisions. And so for the R-rated highlights, well, first of all, I met some really cool people in bars who kind of showed me around some different areas. Like I went to some nightclubs. I'm not like a big nightclub guy in New York generally, just because it's like full of douchebags and women that are gonna be mean to me probably. So I generally avoid those places in the U.S. But I was in Japan, and it's kind of different there. So yeah, I went to some nightclubs, and on one particular night when I was there, I ran into this guy who's a DJ, and he DJs at different events and clubs and bars. Japanese man, and we were like became fast friends, and we were like hanging out, and he was cool as shit, and then like it was getting late. It was like, and the thing you need to know about Japan is the trains. Like I was talking before, the trains are very efficient and awesome, but they do, majority of them shut down around midnight, 1 a.m. So if you're out and about, either you're taking a cab home or you're fucking staying out until like 5 in the morning. So 6 in the morning maybe. I stayed out until 8 a lot of the time. And I was like, fuck it, I'm on vacation, man. So yeah, I meet this guy, DJ guy, and it's getting pretty late. You know, I've been dancing all night, and he's like, "Yo, you want to go to another spot? I got a DJ at this bar." So we leave the club. The club was Camelot. If you ever want to check out a nightclub, a lot of EDM stuff, but I think they have like hip hop. I don't know. A lot of this was a haze, you know, drunken haze, and but yeah, I go with this guy. We hop in a taxi, go to this bar, and it's cool. It's pretty chill, not too crazy. Get some more drinks. He introduces me to his fucking gorgeous friend, and I don't remember her name. And it's my one regret. My one regret of this entire trip is what happens later on in the night. But yeah, he introduces me to his friend, and she's like fucking beautiful, and I think she's also a DJ from what he said, if I'm correct. And she was super cool, and we ended up linking up with her, and then we're like, all right, going to the next spot. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm getting pretty fucking drunk at this point. It's late. I don't know. I didn't even know what time it was. I was not checking my phone because I was just going with the flow. I was just going with that nightlife fucking vibe, you know. Fucking, I don't need to check my. Why do I need to check my phone? I don't got shit to do in the morning. So yeah. So I'm with the DJ guy and his friend, this chick, gorgeous woman, and she's like has me by the arm, you know, linked up, fucking walking arm in arm, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be amazing. Like this is gonna be the perfect night. Everything's been leading up to this. I'm gonna fall in love with this woman. Who knows what's gonna happen? So then we go to this other spot, and this other spot is fucking packed. It's filled to the brim with motherfuckers. Like it's popping. Okay, and it has like I remember kind of a neon-ish blue hue to the place. That might be me misremembering, because like I said, I was pretty fucking drunk. But anyway, they bring me to this spot, and he introduces me to a bunch of people, and they're all friendly as shit too, because everybody in Japan is friendly, or at least 99% of them are. So he introduces me to all his friends there, and he introduces me to this guy, older gentleman, and he's kind of has a stoic kind of look about him, like he looks like he's a serious man. Like he did some serious shit, but I didn't know what. And he's like buying everybody shots in the bar, and I'm downing them, and he's like, I don't know what the fuck was in these shots, by the way, because I drank a lot of sake when I was there. Shit was not sake, it was not vodka, it was not whiskey. I don't know what the fuck it was. It was strong as shit. And as you know, like when you go to Japan, a lot of their drinks are not necessarily strong tasting. So who knows what the fuck they gave me. But yeah, the guy I was with, DJ guy, you know, gestures towards the older gentleman, the stoic man, and he's like, yeah, this guy, he was a gang boss, crime boss, and the guy just kind of like played it off. He's like, you know, and I was like, what, really? I was like, and I deduced from this, because I didn't want to ask too many questions, that this guy was like a Yakuza guy. Now, was I correct in that assumption? I don't know, but it kind of seemed like it, just the way he was acting and the way that he responded to like the guy's, you know, proclamation that this dude was like some fucking hard ass gangster boss man. And so I was like, whoa, shit, okay. And let me just add, this was not the last time that I hung out with a Yakuza guy. I'll just say that. All right, there's another instance. Of that happening. Anyway, I got fucking hammered off of these fucking Yakuza drinks. And yeah, eventually I completely lost track of that gorgeous woman we met earlier, or the friend of the DJ dude. And I was like, fuck. I was like, where'd she go? She probably got bored. She probably got fucking bored, because my ass was so enamored with the ambiance of this fucking crazy ass Yakuza club, or where the fuck I was. I don't even remember the name of it. I don't know where we were. So I lost track of her, and I was fucking pissed. But anyway, we go back to another the first spot we were at, and he's like DJing. I think at one point he gave me the microphone. I was like, "Yeah, motherfuckers, party." I don't know. I don't really remember. But I think that's what happened. Um, but yeah, eventually I went home, and I like passed out in the street. No, okay, I'm kind of exaggerating. I, I I was walking. I was in my neighborhood. I made it as far as my neighborhood to my apartment, and I sat on like a bench or something, and I just fucking blacked the fuck out. And then I woke up. Actually, I haven't told anybody this. I woke up to like EMT people, because I don't know if they. I don't know if somebody called them. It was like, there's some fucking guy who looks dead on a bench. And yeah, and they like. I woke up to them, and they were like, "Hey, you okay?" And I was like, yeah." I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, I didn't know what happened. I was like, "Did I like fall on my face? I feel okay." And they were like checking my blood pressure. Like, "We're gonna check to make sure you're okay." And I was like, "Okay, all right, that's cool." And then they, saw that I was fine, and I was like, "Okay, I'm just gonna go home now." And then I went home, passed out in my bed, and that was the end of that night. Crazy fucking night. But yeah, like I said, that was not the last time that I encountered a Yakuza guy, because I made a friend there. This guy, should I say his name? He's not gonna see this. This dude, whatever. This guy, he's like my age, from Hawaii, white dude, cool as shit. We also became friends pretty quickly, and one night, well, I met him at this bar in Shibuya, and I started going there like pretty frequently because it was a nice like first stop for the night. It was almost like a pub, It had that atmosphere. So I was going there as like my first stop of the night on like a Friday or Saturday, sometimes Thursday, and Sunday. And so, Jesus Christ, excuse me. I hate when people do that, when they like slurp and snort like their snot, like in public. So forgive me if because I'm trying to like not make as many cuts in this fucking thing. Maybe I'll cut some of that out, but forgive me. I'm sorry. But anyway, I met this dude named Zach, and so we became friends, and he started like bringing me to other spots, and one night we went to that nightclub, and then we fucking what the hell happened? We went to we went to Camelot again, because of course we did, because of course we went to the same guy. I'm a creature of habit, if you didn't already know that. So yeah, we went there, and then of course after that we were all kind of like, man, we want to find some fucking women. We're drunk as shit. We're trying to get some fucking ass tonight. And so I don't know how he knew this guy, if they were friends before or whatever, but he's like, "Hey, yeah, there's this dude. He manages this bar in Roppongi, which is a an area with a lot of those like little nightclubs and shit. A little shady, but whatever. If you know how to navigate shadiness, then you're fine." So we went to this club, but he was like, "Yeah, it's owned by this gay Yakuza guy." Gay Yakuza guy. I was like, "Oh, okay." And I met the dude. Nice guy. A very flamboyant dresser. Had some like fucking, I can't remember what kind of shirt it was. It was a satin shirt, crazy design. So like, we meet this guy, and then we end up going to a bunch of fucking after hours places, but just buying like loads of drinks and getting wild. I did not get laid that night. But honestly, I did okay. I did okay over the course of the trip. I hooked up with a lot of beautiful women, cute women, pretty women. Kind of ran the gamut. But yeah, you kind of went through the spectrum of attractiveness. But and some of them were cool. Some of them were really cool. Some of them were a little crazy. I think one thing that I did not really know was the kind of push and pull aspect of like trying to hit on a Japanese girl, a Japanese woman, because there are times where it's like they will be very, I don't know. I was actually surprised at how forward some of them were. Like they were coming at me fucking 100 miles an hour, and then there'd be a little pullback because they don't want to seem like too easy or something. But I was like, there's sometimes I'd be like, you were literally just sucking my face off and like groping me, like kissing my chest and shit. And then when I propose the question of like, hey, let's get out of here, you know, let's go, fucking get a hotel or some shit. They're like, oh, I'm not easy, and then I'm like, what the fuck was that whole thing about then? Like, what the hell did we just do? You know, fuck me for assuming when you were sucking my tongue that maybe you wanted to, I don't know, take this some to another level. You know, that's my bad, I guess. That's my bad for assuming that. But whatever, you know. I guess to end this episode, because it's I think it's getting to the it's getting to the that we're reaching the climax here. I have one last thing I'm going to talk about, and I'm not necessarily proud of this thing that I did, and this might come back to haunt me being this honest, but you know what? I'm an honest motherfucker. Okay, I'm going to keep it 100. I'm going to keep it 100, and I'm going to tell you exactly the craziest thing I did when I went there. All right, it wasn't hanging out with Yakuza bosses, or you know, hooking up with strangers, or passing out in the street. Crazy shit I did was this. Okay, let's start off a little earlier in the night on this particular weekend. Maybe it was Friday. I think it was a Friday night, and I had been to this bar / it was like a cafe, and early in the day, and it turns into a bar at night. Pretty cool little spot. You know, it's all right. It's in Shibuya, and I was with my friends, my new friends, and I ended up, you know, getting introduced to these two girls. Fucking so hot. It was so hot, and one of them was like dancing up on me, and she was fucking just, you know, when I think of like a girl I could see myself with, I see her face, because she was so goddamn pretty. But anyway, so like I'm dancing with her, and obviously she's had a bit to drink, but so have I, and so we're all loose, and we're all dancing around, and it's a good time. And her friend comes over, is talking to me, and I'm like, okay, maybe both of them, maybe this can happen. I don't know. Who knows? I'm on vacation. You don't know what the fuck could go down. So her friend is dancing with me, and I'm thinking like, I got this in the bag. Like this is this easy as shit. I know how to say beautiful in Japanese, kirei. If you need a word, if you're trying to hit on some women in Japan, kirei is beautiful. So I was like saying that shit, whispering that to her and shit, and it was going fucking great. It was awesome. But then I had to get some money because I was all out. So I go to the 7-Eleven nearby. There were 7-Elevens all over the goddamn place. So I go to one of those down the street with my friend, because we're about to part ways. Me and my friend, he had to go to work in the morning, so because he's a responsible person, unlike me. So we go to the 7-Eleven, and we're like talking, we're having like a good male bonding moment, and we're like, man, you're fucking awesome. No, you're a fucking great guy. Blah blah blah. It was cool shit. And then I go to the 7-Eleven, and I'm like, I take out some cash, and yeah, me and my friend part ways. I don't know how long we were in there. I feel like we were only gone like 5 minutes. Maybe it was 10 minutes. I don't fucking know. But anyway, we separate. We end up going, our separate ways. And then, I bounce out of there. I go back to that little bar, and the chick that I was dancing with the whole time that I thought was really fucking cute, she's fucking asleep. She's fucking asleep on a fucking couch. I don't know, well, not a couch, whatever they got in that, the loungy fucking seats in that bar. So, that was pretty much dead. And then, of course, her friends had to watch after her. I guess she had passed out from drinking too much. So her friends took her out, and I was beside myself, both literally, figuratively. I was alone. I didn't know what the fuck to do. It was like, shit. I was like, God damn it. And so I go, I leave this spot, and at this point I think it's like 3:30 in the morning or something. And I didn't want to go to a nightclub again. So I was like, shit. It looks like nothing's gonna happen tonight. And so I go, I like turn a corner, and I'm just really aimless, wandering around. And I take a seat at I don't even know where the fuck I was. I just sit down somewhere. And in Shibuya, and in other areas, Shinjuku, like red light district, they'll have well, I guess in the U.S. you would call them prostitutes. But the thing is, in Japan, there was a law that only that defines prostitution as when you're getting down like that, getting it in, as they say. So anything else is not considered prostitution. I guess so. They have all these women that try to get you into these, essentially what they're brothels for hand jobs and blow jobs, and you're like, I mean, I was aware of this shit because the first time I went, like, you get approached by some of these people if you're out late enough, and I was surprised. I was like, what the fuck? This isn't Thailand. What the fuck is this shit? But yeah, it's something they do there. So, yeah, I noticed one girl out there, and I had known, but she caught my eye. But the thing is about these businesses is that they're the women they put out on the street to get you aren't necessarily the ones that are going to be servicing you necessarily. So but I noticed this chick, and I'm like, she's cute. So I was like, should I? Because I was frustrated a little about this particular night. I was like, should I do this? Because it's not like I'll have you know, I've never paid for sex before. Because why fuck should I? Look at me. I'm not paying for sex. Fuck that shit. Not in the U.S. anyway. It's like, not only am I not that desperate on a day-to-day basis, but I also don't want to get, an STD of any kind. I've gone this far without getting one, with all the dirty slags I've been with in this city. Okay? It's not starting now, alright? So anyway, I see this chick in the street, and finally I'm just like, fuck it. Fuck it. And I'm like, hey, I'm ready to go. Let's do this. And so she brings me, she's like, okay, so if we follow her, I'm in the back alleys of this fucking, I guess they call it Love Hotel Hill in Shibuya, because there are a lot of love hotels in this area. I love hotels usually where couples go, and they have like different themed rooms, and you can go fuck in a subway car, chain each other up, and do some S&M shit, whatever your heart desires. And so I follow her, and she brings me, basically it's like an apartment complex, pretty much. And I'm fucking wasted. I am so hammered. And I'm following this girl. She's like 4'0" nothing. And she brings me this one, apartment, basically. It's not, it doesn't look like an apartment once you get in there, but we go in there, and there's a little chair to like wait. There's like a waiting area. So you get your number called, and so I take a seat, and then they give you a bunch of pictures. She brings over some pictures, laminated photos of all the women who I guess work there. But when you look at these photos, you're like, I don't think any of these chicks look like this. I'm pretty positive none of them do. First of all, these are photoshopped shit, so even if they did look like these were the actual women, I wouldn't be able to tell. And second of all, it's just kind of obvious. They just look like there's no way. I'm sure the majority of these chicks that work here aren't even Japanese. So I just pointed at the first one of them. It's just like, that one, fuck it. But I made a request, and I made this request very clearly, concisely, and I made it a couple times. I said, She has to be Japanese. Okay? She has to be a Japanese woman. Age, I don't really care how old she is. I mean, obviously, I want them to be of age. I'm not a fucking pervert like that. I mean, I am a pervert, but I'm not a pedophile. But I don't care if she's like, you know, a MILF, a cougar. I don't give a shit. She just has to be Japanese, okay? And then I reiterated this point when there was another older gentleman who came over and was talking to me, gonna show me to whatever area where the ladies were. And I said it again. I told him, I said, Japanese. She has to be Japanese. Don't give me a fucking Filipino and act like I can't tell the fucking difference. Okay, I know my Asians. So fuck me. This is gonna go back. This is totally gonna come back to haunt me. So he's like, okay. I mean, yeah. We have one, but she can't speak English. She can only speak Japanese. And I said, even better. Okay, perfect. It's not like we're gonna be writing a fucking dissertation together. She's gonna be fucking me. What's the goddamn problem? So I was like, that's cool. That's perfect. Let's go. Let's do it. And they bring me to a room, and they all have like curtain, you know, doors. And there are a bunch of them, you know. And so I go in here, and then there's a Japanese lady. She's not like, she isn't old, but she's like milfy, you know. She might have been in her late 30s, early 40s. I don't know. It was kind of dark, but she was looking pretty good. She had some like nice lingerie on. It was a good time. But one thing I will say is, you know how I was talking about earlier, how there's a law that you know, it's they can do anything up to a certain point, and if you go past that point, then it's considered illegal. Well, I committed a crime, you know, when I was there. So we did a little bit of everything. She kind of gave me the tour of the city, as I like to say. I'm not going to go into detail because I'm not that type of person. I don't want to gross you out. All I will say is that, you know, by the time I got out of there, it must have been like hour and a half, 2 hours later. So it was, she definitely gave me more than I paid for. I will just say that, because I didn't pay like a ton of money. I only had so much. But yeah, I think I'm gonna end it there. And you know, if you do decide to go to Japan, and you end up in some crazy ass situation on a Friday night, like me, like that story I just told, just be careful, okay? Don't get had, all right? Because they're gonna try to squeeze a lot of money out of you, but all you gotta do is be like, nah, I don't have any more. And eventually, if you say no enough times, you'll get what you need. So, okay, that was my seedy, like, red light district experience, even though I wasn't in the red light district that night in Japan. But you know, actually, I won't end it there because I don't want that to be the general kind of the last story. You know, I don't want that to be the kind of what you take away from this entire thing. So that was one night. That was a couple hours out of one Friday night. I was in this country for 30 days, and I saw some amazing, beautiful parts of this country. It's weird to do this now. Fuck it. I saw, yeah, it's an amazing fucking country. You know, aside from all the seedy shit that I did, there's a lot of everybody's fucking cool as hell, and the food is amazing. You never really have bad food there. You really don't. At worst, things will be good. You know, of course, I didn't eat in every little town, in every prefecture, in every, you know, city, but from what I found, it was all really good. Even if you go to a fucking 7-Eleven, you go to a Combini or some shit, they still have decent food there. So, yeah, it's just a fucking great place. I would recommend, you gotta go for at least 2 weeks, 2 full weeks, if you can. And even that, I would say, don't rush. Don't rush around. Really take time to take it all in and enjoy it, and just kind of be in the moment. Because my first time I was there, I feel like I don't know if I fully embraced the moment, and it was a little, I don't know, maybe I was just overwhelmed, you know. But I would say don't try to rush it too much. I would say see as much as you can within reason, without fucking police. There's always some fucking cops out there. God damn it. Anyway, fucking New York, Jesus Christ. Yeah, take your time. Really, really, really enjoy the fucking country, man. It's a beautiful spot, and I see myself moving there one day. I really do. I see it happening. I'd probably have to be an English teacher, at least, you know, initially for the first, you know, few years that I'm there. But I don't know. That's if the band doesn't work out. If the band doesn't work out, I'm gonna have a lot of fucking problems. You know, not just mentally, but oh god, yeah. I think that's gonna do it for this week's episode. The Japanese or Chad in Japan recap show, part 1. Part 2 next week. I'll have all of the stuff I shot from the trip. And yeah, if you're a fan of the show, one of the 10 fans I have, yeah, hit me up, goingindrypod at gmail.com. That's goingindrypod at gmail.com. Hit me up with your comments, your suggestions. Tell me that I'm a big ol' stupid chinko. That's Japanese for penis. So, yeah, sayonara, motherfuckers. I'll see you next week. And, I love you. I love you all. Let's end on that positive message. Yeah, I love you. I hope you love me too. Peace.